into this program about 4 or 5 days ago, I had a huge breakthrough. And I don't know how many of us have been to churches before. You've heard, a pastor say, talking about God, talking about that God is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. Omnipotent, all-powerful, omnipresent, which means, everywhere, all the time, and omniscient, knowledgeable about everything and aware of everything. To me, whenever I've heard that before, it's just been a concept. It's always been a concept, and I read the Bible a couple times through, and I've, felt the presence of God, and at the same time, anytime that's been brought up, that God is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient, it's still registered for me almost like abstract concepts that I guess I just never felt that feeling. And so I don't know if this has happened to you or related to you. So I have a vision board, okay? And what I teach in our NLP programs with our vision boards is we don't have vision boards with just these abstract things on there, houses, cars, boats, planes, the relationship we want. We don't just have these abstract things on there. We need to actually have pictures that we can step into, right? So what we call associated, we can actually associate into them. So on my vision board, I have this picture, because my purpose is transformation of the planet, of a pair of hands holding a globe, a planet Earth. And so as I was looking at that picture, I love the picture because, again, I want to transform the planet, but I wasn't fully associated. So what I did is I said, okay, how do I step into that picture and really feel that specific picture? Because I know my purpose and I feel that. But the picture of a hand holding this earth, taking care of this earth, nurturing, loving, helping, giving back, contributing to the earth. I just see these abstract hands and this earth. So what I did is I said, okay, I'm gonna step into that picture. And I had a huge, oh my gosh, huge breakthrough. What I did is I stepped into the picture and I imagined that I'm here in LA. I'm here right now at the Pasadena Hilton. And what I did is I imagined myself getting bigger, to a point where now I'm the size of this big Hilton hotel, and I'm even bigger. I'm now the size of the city of Los Angeles. And I'm walking you through this, and I'm saying because this was my experience. While I'm doing this, I'm inviting you to do the same thing. This is really about you, because I've already had my breakthrough. This is about you. I want you to do this. So walk me through it, right? So if you have 2-3 minutes, just stop what you're doing. If you want to feel the presence of power and love and God and whatever your spiritual higher power belief is, if you want to get rid of any fears, any worries, any concerns, and if you want to just tap into your true powerful nature, play along with me on this exercise. So what I did is I'm going to ask you to do it, is close your eyes. I'm going to keep my eyes open as I'm talking to you, but if you want right now, you can close your eyes. It's going to take 2-3 minutes. And what you're going to do is you're going to imagine yourself getting bigger. With your eyes closed if you want to do it, so you can really visualize if you want. Imagine yourself getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Become so big, so huge that you're the size of the building you're in. You're now the size of the city of Los Angeles, or wherever you are. Now grow bigger where you're the size of the state or even the country. And as you're getting bigger and bigger, your head is probably tipping up in the clouds because you're so big. You're like at the height of these airplanes, right? And you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You become so big, you're the size of the planet Earth. And as you're the size of the planet, you're zooming back and getting even bigger where you're the size of 10 times the Earth. So you're 10 times taller. So big that your hands are now the size of the planet. And as you're obviously you're holding the planet now in your hands, palming the planet with your hands, but of course your hands are not touching the water. So let's just imagine there's a buffer of energy where the planet is literally hovering above the palms of your hand, hovering, right? You're cradling it, caring for it, you're nurturing it. Then what I did, and what I want you to do, is I want you to zoom back even further, where you're so big, where you're now cradling not just planet Earth, but all the planets in our galaxy, right? Including the sun, but you're a little far enough away from the sun where it's not burning you. And now you're zooming back even bigger, so you're further back than not only our galaxy, but all the galaxies combined. And this is where I had my huge breakthrough. And I was thinking to myself, okay, so as I'm getting bigger and bigger, at what point do I stop? I've got to find a place where I'm stopping, right? And as I asked myself, and I got to the size of what I thought was the universe, I'm now the size of the universe. Then I asked myself, when do I stop? I realized I couldn't stop because the universe is infinite. The idea of size is a man-made concept. And I started to realize what I want you to realize is the universe is infinite. And I asked myself, oh my gosh, if I'm the size of the universe and if I'm the size of the infinite, then who am I? Then what am I? Then I'm infinite. Then actually, if that's the case, then I'm actually everywhere. I'm actually everywhere all at the same time, which ties into what has been taught again and again and again, which is omnipresent, right? Omnipotent, all-powerful, and omniscient, knowledgeable of everything. So then I asked myself this question. I don't want to shout too much because I'm in the lobby. I'm going back into my class. If that's the case, if I'm that size, if you are that size, if you are really the size of the infinite universe, what's your purpose? What are you here to do? What are you here to let go of or remove? Does it make sense that you have any fears? Does it make any sense that you have any worries or any concerns? If you have the whole universe as you, and you know, spiritually, I could say I'm a piece of the universe, right? I'm a piece of God. But if every piece of this great universe and a piece of God is infinite, then, and if God is infinite, then every piece of God is also infinite, which means I'm infinite, which means I have infinite potential, which means you are infinite, which means you have infinite. And if you are infinite, then what happens to all these things that you know of as your human experience? What happens to your fear? What happens to your, or maybe you know someone who on some level feels they're not good enough, or not smart enough, or not beautiful enough, or not handsome enough, or not tall enough, or not powerful enough. What happens to those insecurities? What happens to the, I don't know what I'm gonna say, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I don't know where I'm gonna go? What happens to all that stuff, all that internal dialogue? Or the feeling that I'm missing something, or I'm not charismatic, or I'm not funny, or all that stuff. What happens if you're in real estate or you're in financial services and you feel that, you know, you have pressure, you must be something, you must do something, you must convince someone of something. Even think about sales. The idea that you need to convince someone to buy your product or service, when in actuality, you're infinite. What does this do? How does this shift your thinking? I could tell you how it shifts my thinking, is I've got even more embodied into this concept that I'm just here to share. If I'm infinite, if you're infinite, we're just here to share. We're just here to share our infinite nature with each other. In the business context, we're just here to share from this place of abundance. We have everything we need. We're here just to share that and help other people find that same thing. I know some people that, they admire me because I do seminars, I speak, I get up on stage and speak to hundreds, if not thousands of people, and they go, wow, how do you do that? Don't you get nervous? Right? And I work with politicians, mayors, and so forth. And even my goal is to work with the Clintons and the Trumps and the Jordans and the Bransons, right? The very top 0.0001% of movers and shakers on the planet. That's my goal. So if you have a goal like that, and if you're concerned, if you're worried, am I good enough? What's my track record? Will they listen to me? If you think other people are better than you or higher than you, and yet they're human, and you do this experience, which you just did just now, you come to the realization that you're infinite. Everything that embodies that person that you respect and you admire, you have within you, and you know it. How does that change the way you walk? How does that change the way you talk? How does that change the way you relate? Do you come into a situation anymore where you feel inferior or less than? Or do you come into every situation where you feel even more of your true nature? Now, I know this may be a kind of an ethereal subject, and usually I don't really go in this direction. We focus on specific skill sets and sales and leadership and communication and goal setting and getting rid of procrastination and all that. And yet I realized for me that if as a foundation we all truly believed in our infinite nature, in our true powerful nature, if we had that as the basis for our being, we would become much better communicators. We would become much better problem solvers. We would become so much better leaders, salespeople, entrepreneurs. We wouldn't have fear of starting our own company. We wouldn't have fear of starting our own office with 100, 200, 300 agents. We would feel unlimited. And from that place of feeling unlimited, and from that place of being fearless, we would be able to go after our dreams, because it's actually our destiny. I think someone not achieving their destiny is also someone not knowing their infinite nature. So please share this video. Some people can watch this and can have the paradigm shift. And I'm going to say I'm very surprised that all the times I've heard this message, God is omnipresent, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, all the times I've heard this message, it always just seemed like an abstract concept to me. I never felt it in my bones. I never felt what could it do for me. I love you, my friends. Share your comments. And by the way, I'm not a pastor. I'm not saying I am. I've read the Bible maybe close to 2 times, but I'm not saying I am. But I am saying I am me. I am saying I am me. So really this is about the I am. Yes, you are magnificent. I love you, my friends. Talk to you soon.